What's up, people? I'm Xogue, and welcome to the step-by-step tutorial for a demon invasion. Yeah, the thing that you need in order to get to tier 6 in blood magic. We'll be going through all of that stuff, including a very basic resource list that you need in order to even do it. Now, we're going to go ahead and just assume that you have a tier 5 blood altar. Now, you have to have this, and you need at least 25 Rune of the Orbs in your tier 5 blood altar in order to even store enough essence in your system. Now, I have 26 in this one, and I did kind of go and just edit myself in the NBT tags to, give myself enough LP in my system. So, yeah, I cheated a little bit, but you'll have to get it manually if you're playing survival. It's kind of a thing you're going to have to do, and it does take a while. But you need at least 15 million LP in your system and a tier 5 altar before you can even think about doing this, this ritual. Now, the other thing that you need is a summoning circle. Now, there's actually 3 tiers of this thing, but you only need the smallest one, so that's all I have here. After you have these things done, that's the basic idea. I'm going to assume that this is all you have, and we're going to go all the way down and just explore everything that you have to have in order to get the demon ritual done, or the demon invasion done. Now, this, in case you're curious, is the area that the ritual will take up. If the master ritual stone for the ritual is right here in this block where I'm standing, where my feet are, then these are the blocks you have to remove. So if you want to go ahead and create your platform, it is a very, very good idea to have your platform somewhere far away from your base, because these demons will, they'll build a town and they'll take over your base if you let them. So build it somewhere far away. Go ahead, set up your platform and everything like that. The other thing I want to mention is that this will actually take a bit of time. This is a pretty lengthy process. So once I get started here, it's going to be going pretty quick. So be ready to pause at certain points if you think you might need to. Now, let's get started. All right. So as I mentioned, here is the complete list of everything that you need in order to do this ritual. Some of the things are assumed, like the Dagger of Sacrifice. I pretty much assume that you have something like that. A nether star, I assume you have a way to get it. Now, it should be noted that this nether star is actually used in the creation of the awakened activation crystal, which is required. You can also get a demon blood shard if you want to get one of those, but for the purposes of this tutorial, we are going to run with the nether star. So those two are interchangeable in this process. If you already have a really easy way to get these, then feel free to use this instead of the nether star. Now, it should also be noted that this right here is glass. This wood can be any type of wood. It doesn't really matter as far as the slabs go. Everything else you should be able to tell. This is regular stone. This is sand, regular dirt, cobblestone, netherrack. Everything else, this is obsidian. Everything else you should be able to tell what it is without too much trouble. So go ahead and pause the video if you think you need to in order to write this down or take a snapshot of it. However you want to do that, go ahead, feel free, do so now. All right, first you want to pull out 2 pieces of obsidian, 3 pieces of cobblestone, your blaze rod, and have your blood orb handy. Now we're going to go ahead and line this here, put the blaze rod right on top, and that will give you the brewing stand. Then you take the obsidian, put those in the 2 sides, and your blood orb right in the middle, and that'll give you the alchemist chemistry set. Alchemic chemistry set. So there you go. Now this is going to be used a lot in just a little bit, but for now just place it down somewhere comfortable, and we'll get back to it. The next thing you want to do is you want to pull out 2 pieces of sugar, 2 pieces of glowstone, 1 nether wart, 4 bones, 3 cobblestone, 4 redstone, 1 bone meal, 3 gunpowder, 1 gold nugget, and your 2 imbued slates. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come over here, put in your redstone, your sugar, your glowstone, and 2 pieces of gunpowder. Now, with this blood orb here, that is exactly how you pay for the stuff with his alchemist chemistry set, and that's pretty much what you got to do with it. If you don't have enough essence, you need to start gaining it, because this is what you got to do. Next, you take your simple catalyst, and you turn that into the strengthened catalyst. by doing this right here. The bone meal, the nether wart, and the 2 simple catalysts will turn into 2 strength. What you need to do is you need to take your 4 bones and put it around the outside, just like this, your 1 piece of gunpowder, and that will turn into the fractured bones that you need in the next step. Now you take your fractured bone, you take your gold nugget, and you take 1 of your strengthened catalysts, and this will turn into the concentrated. What you need to do is take your concentrated, put it up there, and 2 of your imbued slates, and that will turn into the last thing we need to construct this calcinator right here. I forgot to mention the glass that you actually need for this recipe. But you also need 3 pieces of glass. Now what you do is take your cobblestone at the bottom, take your cracked runic plates, put those in the top corners, put the strengthened catalyst right in the middle, and then take your 3 pieces of glass and fill in the gaps. And that will give you your calcinator. Now this thing you can place, again, just place it down somewhere. It doesn't really matter too much where it is. We'll be using that in just a little bit. The next thing that we need to do is go ahead and make the tools required to get this whole thing started. So we're going to come back over to the alchemic chemistry set. Make sure your blood orb is still in there, and then we're going to go ahead and make 6 of the simple catalysts. So go ahead and throw the sugar, the glowstone, the gunpowder, and the redstone right into this thing and wait until it makes all 6. And once the final one finishes, you can then take 2 of them, put them right there, throw in your nether wart and your bone meal, and have it make the 2 strengthened that we need for this recipe. Now, you're going to go back to your crafting table. You're going to put your nether quartz right along the top. Get all 9 of your quartz rods out. Put 1 there, 1 there. Put your stick in the bottom left corner. Put your stone in those 2 corners. And then you want to put 1 of your strengthened catalysts right there. And that'll give you the alchemic router. Then you want to put 1 more there, there, and there. Put your strengthened catalyst right in the middle. Put your iron in the top right corner and your gold there, and that will give you the alchemic segmenter. Then, the only thing you need to do is put the last 4 quartz rods that you have in the corners and put the last 4 simple catalysts that you have in the other slots on the outside, and that will give you the alchemic cleanser. Now what you need to do is take your blood orb out of the alchemic chemistry set. Take out 2 stacks plus 8 of obsidian and 2 stacks plus 4 of the reinforced slates. Then take 4 of your obsidian and set them aside. Then split up your stacks of obsidian and your stacks of reinforced slates into 4 stacks of 33 of each. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put the obsidian right in the corners, all 4 corners. You're going to put your blood orb in the middle, and you're going to put your reinforced slates in the leftover slots. That is going to give you 2 stacks plus 4 of ritual stones. Then what you want to do is take the last 4 obsidian, put those in the corners, take your ritual stones and put 4 of your ritual stones, put those in the 4 leftover slots, and then take out your master ritual stone. Now we're going to bring it back to the alchemic chemistry set. You're going to put your blood orb back in and make sure you take out 2 stacks of glowstone dust, 2 stacks of sugar, 2 stacks of gunpowder, and 4 stacks of redstone. And just keep all of these slots loaded up with these supplies, making sure you have double the amount of redstone around the circle that you do the sugar, glowstone, or gunpowder. And then once this is complete, you will end up with 2 full stacks of simple catalyst. And once it finishes with both stacks, you want to take 16 simple catalysts and split the stack between 2 of the slots. Then you want to fill the other 2 slots with 8 bone meal and 8 nether wart. And once this is done, you're going to end up with 16 strengthened catalysts. After that, you want to take 16 simple catalysts, 16 gas tiers, 32 feathers, and 16 glowstone dust, and spread that around in stacks of 16 all the way around this alchemist chemistry set. And once you're done with that, you're going to have 16 ether ready to go. After your ether is done, what you want to do is then put in 16 glowstone, 16 nether quartz, 2 stacks of 16 lapis, and your 16 strengthened. These are the ones we made, the 16 strengthened catalysts, not the simple that we were just using. And once you're done with this, you're going to have 16 potentia ready to go. And once this finishes, you then need to make sure you get 32 obsidian, 16 dirt, 16 sand, and then 16 simple catalyst, and spread those around in the circle in the outside slots of this alchemic chemistry set. And once that is finished, you're going to have 16 terre ready to go. And once that's finished, you then need to make sure you get your 16 buckets of lava, 16 simple catalysts, 16 netherrack, and 32 blaze, and spread those around in your 5 slots. Making sure you switch out the lava buckets right after the next one, right after it finishes, because then it'll be empty and you have to make sure you keep track of that and keep up with it. And once this one finishes, then you need to make sure you have 16 simple catalysts, 16 pieces of clay, 32 coal, 16 obsidian, and spread those around in your circle. And once this finishes, you will then have 16 pieces of tenebrae ready to go. After that, you need to make sure you have 16 more simple catalyst, 32 glowstone dust, 16 redstone, and 16 gunpowder. And once that's finished, you're going to end up with 16 magicales ready to go. Then what you need to do is take 16 more simple catalysts, your 48 glass bottles, and your 16 ink sacs. You want to make sure you continue to fill up your glass bottles. They do need to be water bottles. It's just, it takes up a little bit of space if they were to be water bottles in this chest here. So after that, you want to put in 3 water bottles, 1 ink. Well, you can go ahead and put in all 16 of those and all 16 of the catalysts. And just make sure you keep filling up all the water bottles, because it can get a little bit tedious, but you definitely need to keep doing it. And once that one is done, you want to go right here and make sure you have, let's move these out of the way because the inventory got sorted somehow. You want to make sure you have 16 more simple catalyst, 16 gold nuggets, 32 glowstone dust, and 16 glass. And put those right around the outside ring. And after that, you will have the last set of 16 reagent that you need in order to make this thing work. Once that is finished, you want to get out 8 bones, 2 gunpowder, 8 gold nuggets, 4 bone meal, 4 netherwort, 16 redstone, 8 sugar, 8 glowstone dust, 8 gunpowder, and your 24 slabs. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and put in the redstone, the sugar, the glowstone, and the gunpowder, which is going to give you 8 simple catalysts. Once that finishes, you want to take all 8 and turn them into the strengthen by splitting the stack, making 4 each, taking your 4 netherwort and your 4 bone meal right in here, which is going to give you 8 strengthened catalysts. And once that finishes, you can take those out and put in the bones, 2 each. 2 bones in 4 of the slots. And then put in your 2 gunpowder, which is going to give you at the end 8 fractured bones. And 1 more. There we go. Then you want to put in your 8 strengthened, your 8 gold nuggets, and your 8 fractured bones. And that will give you an end result of 8 concentrated catalysts. Once those are finished, you want to come back over to your crafting station. You want to put your concentrated catalyst, all 8 of them, right in the middle, your slabs, and line the bottom, and then take 40 glass and line the outside. That will give you your 8 crystal bell jars that we need to start filling with all the reagents we just made. Go ahead and head over to your calcinator, right-click on it with your blood orb, which will basically put it inside, and that's how you're going to pay for things. And then take 1 reagent at a time and place it in here. Now you notice I can't right click and add another one just yet. As soon as this is done, if it's done anytime soon, then we can put another one, and this thing will slowly fill up with all of the melted reagents that we're putting into it. However, there is an easier way. If you want to funnel them all in, you can actually drop the entire stack in there at one time, and like you might expect, just like with the altar, it will fill them all in there, and it will just melt them all down. Then what you want to do is place one of the crystal bell jars right next to it. Take your alchemic segmenter, hold shift and right click on the calcinator, and then right click on the crystal bell jar. Then you want to go to the alchemic router, shift right click on your calcinator once again, then right click on it, and then right click on your bell jar. And that will start to fill it with all of the melted reagents that we're putting into it. Once that first tank is finished, you can see down at the bottom it says 16,000 and shows a little bit picture of the reagent you just put into it. Now 16,000 is full. That means you can pick it up, move it somewhere else, and put down a brand new crystal bell jar and drop the next stack of whatever reagent you want to use back into your chest. If you're doing it manually, then feel free. That's all up to you, but you will have to click a little bit more than I will. Anyway, so the next thing you do is come back to your alchemic segmenter, shift right click to select Sanctus, and then right click on your tank so that tells this is Sanctus. Then you want to go to your alchemic router, shift right click in the air to clear the saved container. Then you want to go to the alchemic cleanser and right click on your calcinator. Go back to the alchemic router, shift right click, right click, right click. And now it is transmitting the Sanctus into this new bell jar. And once that's done, you'll end up with a tank that it says 16,000 and it'll show a little picture of Sanctus like it does right down there at the bottom. Alright, I'm going to show you this one more time before I go ahead and skip to the end where all of these are full. Basically, the orb is still in here. All you got to do is go ahead and drop in your next stack. It'll start processing everything. You want to go to your alchemic cleanser. Doesn't matter what order you'd use these tools in. But clear the destination list. Go to your alchemic segmenter. Shift right click to select Aether. And there does have to be some of the liquid version in this thing before you can select it. And then right click on the tank to set that to Aether. Shift right click in the air to clear the saved container. Then shift right click to select Aether with this alchemic router. Right click to say from, right click to say to, and it'll start transmitting all of the Aether from this into this. And once that's full, you'll be good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and skip until I have all the rest of my reagents set up in these crystal bell jars and just help speed this along a little bit. Alright, so now you need to take out 16 iron, 16 string, 4 sticks, 8 redstone, 4 glowstone, 4 cobblestone, 4 bones, 5 gunpowder, 4 golden nuggets, 2 bone meal, 4 sugar, and 2 nether wart. And you want to head over to your alchemist chemistry set. Go ahead and load up your recipe for simple catalyst with these guys, just like this. And once this is done, once you put in your blood orb, it'll go ahead and make all 4 of those and we can keep going. And once those are finished, go ahead and upgrade them to the strengthened by adding in those 2 into 2 different piles, the bone meal and the nether wart. And once that's finished, you'll end up with your 2 strengthened or 4 strengthened catalysts. And once those are finished, you want to go ahead and just move those or move that out to the side, put in your 4 bones, 1 each, and then your 1 piece of gunpowder to give yourself 4 more fractured bones. Then you can put those into one of the slots, the 4 gold nuggets into one of the slots, and your 4 strengthened, and that will give you 4 concentrated catalysts. Now you want to head over to your crafting station, put in your 4 cobblestone and your 4 sticks just to give yourself the 4 levers. Go ahead and put your concentrated right in the middle, your iron on the 4 corners, and your string in the leftover slots. This will give you the 4 alchemy relays that we need for this process. Now you want to take out your 8 cobblestone, 4 stone, 1 diamond, and 2 gold. Go to your crafting station, circle this around to make yourself a furnace, put that in the middle, line the bottom, put the diamond in the bottom, put the gold in the bottom corners, and the stone along the left and right sides to give yourself another blood altar. Then you want to take out 6 glowstone, 6 gunpowder, 6 sugar, and 6 redstone, and go ahead and make yourself 6 more simple catalysts just by doing this. Once those are finished, go ahead and put 3 of them back in. Put in your 3 gold nuggets, put in 3 glass, and put in 2 stacks of 3 glowstone dust, which is going to give you 3 Sanctus. Then you want to grab 2 feathers, 1 gas tier, 1 glowstone dust, and put in 1 of your simple catalyst, put in 2 of your feathers, put in 1 glowstone and 1 gas tier, which is going to give you the Aether. Now you want to grab 2 pieces of obsidian, 1 sand, 1 dirt, and 1 of your simple catalysts. Go ahead and throw those into the mix, and that will give you 1 terre. Then you want to grab your 1 piece of clay, 1 piece of obsidian, and 2 coal, as well as the 1 simple catalyst. Throw those guys into the mix so you can get the last reagent that we need. Now it's time to kill something. So make sure you have some kind of weapon. Obviously, you know, I have one of the best weapons in the game because I'm in creative and it's awesome. But you also want to go ahead and put in all of the reagents that we just made onto this circle pedestals here. And then throw in the blood orb right in the middle. And that will go around striking each pedestal. And basically this is going to spawn the fallen angel that we needed to spawn in order to complete this ritual that we want to complete. So as soon as this is done, now it'll strike the middle. Boom! And there he is. Just like this. Now we can kill this guy. And we get our demon crystal. Now we're going to go through and get 3 more simple catalysts and go ahead and start making our awakened activation crystal. So once you have these 3 simple catalysts, you also need another piece of glowstone, 2 feathers, a gas tier, 3 water bottles, an ink sac, your weak activation crystal, a nether star, 2 blaze powder, a lava bucket, and a piece of netherrack. Now once you have the simple catalyst, go ahead and leave 1 in there. Throw in your 3 water bottles and your ink sac, and that will give you one of the reagents we need to get the awakened activation crystal. Then you can throw in another one of your simple catalysts. Go ahead and throw in the lava bucket, the 2 blaze powder in different slots, and the piece of netherrack. And that will give you the second reagent we need for this process. Then you can put in your last simple catalyst, take out the bucket, throw in the glowstone, 2 feathers into different slots, and the gas tier. And this will give you the third and final piece that we need to get the awakened activation crystal. Then you want to head over to your crafting station. Throw in, not the crafting station, stay on the alchemist chemistry set. Sorry about that. Throw in all 3 of your reagents that you have, your weak activation crystal, and your nether star. And then once this finishes, you will have your brand new awakened activation crystal. Then we can continue with things. Now it's finally time to get to the best part of this. Go ahead and put down your master ritual stone wherever it is you wanted it. Take out your ritual diviner that you no doubt already have and scroll until you shift right click, meaning scroll, until you get to the convocation of the damned ritual, which should be around here somewhere. There it is. And then with your 2 stacks of ritual stones in your inventory, just hold down the right click button until it stops for you. Now this could take a little while, so I'm just going to skip to the end, but you get the idea. Once you're finished, it should look something like this, and it should have taken exactly 2 stacks of ritual stones. If it didn't, then something probably went wrong, and you have to make sure that it does look like this before you continue with this video. Now, what you can do is go ahead and take out all of your crystal bell jars, take out your alchemy relays and the levers, and we can start placing this stuff. Now, as far as these jars go, it doesn't matter the order. It doesn't matter which ones go on what side. None of that really matters all that much. All that really matters is that you have each of them already placed on top of these dusk runes here. And you, and then you. And then that should be 1 crystal bell jar on on the top of each of these pillars. And once those are done, you can get rid of that stuff because I'm in creative and they don't disappear, but they will for you. Then you want to take your alchemy relays, place 1 on top of each of these ritual stones right here. And that way they are just in range of not only the crystal bell jars, but also the master ritual stone right here. Now we're going to go ahead and break these just to be sure, just in case these guys need some kind of a clear line of sight to it. I'm not sure if it matters, but what's the harm in breaking them out, at least for now anyway, because later on it won't matter in any case. So we're just going to do that, and that'll be it. Now go ahead and get yourself some trash blocks. I'm just using marble because I think they look cool, but it doesn't really matter what they are because none of this stuff at the moment really matters. But go ahead and place down your levers and turn them all on because this is just one of those steps. Alright, so now it's time to use the fun tool again. So the basic idea of this is that I'm going to shift right click on this guy to select it. Then I'm going to right click to say from, right click to. I'm going to shift right click in the air to clear the container. Then I'm going to shift right click on him, shift right, or just regular right click, and then right click. So it's going to be a complicated process, and you're going to see me do it here in just a second. After that, I'm just going to go around the circle, hooking up the rest of them to these relays. So clear the saved container, shift right click, right click, right click, shift right click, shift right click, right click, right click. That's why I kind of explained it to you in the first place, because if you don't do it fast enough, then you're going to get two of the same reagent in this container. Now, it doesn't matter too much about that, but it's better if you get them just like this. So let me finish going around this circle real quick, and I'll be right back with you. Now, the next step is to link the relays, both sides. You see it has two reagents in it right now. You need to link both of them to the Master Ritual Stone and have it send both sides to it, both reagents into this Master Ritual Stone. Now on this side, I purposely filled it with two of the same reagent because I want to explain a little concept to you. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, I'm going to show you the proper way to do it. This is how it should look like, and this, this is how you should have it. Anyway, so clear your save container. When you shift right click and it has two different reagents in it, you'll actually see it shift between the two as you shift right click. So it doesn't matter which one you select first, but in my case, it's Sanctus. But after you do that, you can right click, and it'll be transmitting Sanctus. Then you can shift right click, and you can skip the next right click on this guy and go straight to right clicking on this one. And now it's transmitting Incendium. If we look at my chat right here, you'll see it says linking to selected container. It only says that once. That's when you right click on this guy. And right now it's transmitting both of them. That's how it should work. Now, in this case right here, when there's two sides, let me show you how this works. So shift right clicking won't switch between anything because it only has Potentia in it. So you're only ever going to be able to select Potentia. But now you can just right click from right click to get Potentia, but then you need to get the second guy. So what you can actually do is just be sure you don't clear the saved container. You can shift right click on this to select the second one. Since it's not in here yet, it will be once this one empties, but it's not there yet. So you can shift right click on this guy to select it from this bell jar rather than from the relay. And then just skip this guy and just right click on here. Now, it might seem like you're saying to send from here to here, but really you're not, because it's still selected to come from the relay. So you're saying take Magic Relays from here into here. So it's actually selecting it properly just by doing that. And there you go. Let me hook these last two up and we'll continue. All right, now that we have all of that stuff done, we can go ahead and check our system. Make sure you have over 15 million LP. Once that's the case, you can go ahead and place down your blood altar right on top. You don't have to do anything else fancy with it. Then you can go to your Awakened Activation Crystal and right click. Now this gets loud if you don't have a whole lot, but whew. Now start flipping these levers. And you're going to see all of this stuff start to happen. This is where the lightning comes in, and basically by flipping those levers, these levers are a little bit backwards. When they're off, these are on, so it's inverted. By having a redstone signal applied to these relays, it turns them off, and it makes it so they can't accept or can't send anything. So by turning these off, you activated the relays, which is why it only worked then. Anyway, so this is going to continue for a little while, and it's going to go around the circle, slowly emptying all of these bell jars. And once that's empty, or once they're all empty, once this is done, I'll bring you right back, and we can keep going with this thing. Now, once all of these things empty, not only do these empty, but the relays empty too. And now, normally, when you hover over these things with one of the tools in hand, you'll see the reagents that it's filled with. But since we don't see anything down at the bottom, that means, thank you, rain. Go away. Weather clear 100000. Forever. Only it's not forever. Anyway, so you see that these guys are all empty. And once they are, this guy's glowing. So what we want to do now is actually, we're just going to go ahead and build a little structure here. And you'll see why in a second. This isn't strictly required. I'll tell you the required part of the ritual here in a second. But the basic idea of this is that this is meant to contain, actually that's one too high, isn't it? Let's put it down one. This is meant to contain the demon. So let's go ahead and take out the Demon Crystal and the Dagger of Sacrifice. Now, the only required part of this is that you kill the demon on top of the Blood Altar. And after you do that, you have to use the Dagger of Sacrifice. You have to. You cannot kill him regular. It has to be the Dagger of Sacrifice. Anyway, so once you kill him, there is a bunch of explosions, and you now have a demon portal right here. Now, pretty soon afterwards, this guy will spawn right on top, and you will lose almost everything that you tried to put into it. That you did put into it. Now, you can dig these other ones back and get some of your resources back, but overall, you're going to lose just about everything. But that's okay, because now you have a demon portal that's right here. And pretty soon, you're going to start to see a bunch of demons moving in. Now, if this is really where your blood altar is in relation to the demon portal, it's probably a bad idea. Don't do it here. The only reason I did it here is because I'm in a creative world and this world doesn't really matter. But if you did this in a survival map, your base would end up getting taken over. You want to make sure this is far away and that the demons don't have access no matter how long or far they end up building. But worst case scenario, at least you can live in one of their houses. You'd be dying every 5 seconds, but you could live there. Anyway. If you like this little step-by-step tutorial, then feel free to leave a like. If you want to see more, you want my videos sent directly to you, then don't forget to subscribe. Comment, favorite, share if you feel like you want to. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.